Good afternoon. This is Joe Mosen for SuccessProgress.com. Thanks for stopping by. It's our goal to provide relevant, meaningful content to our user community. And today we're going to profile Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad's Guide to Financial Freedom, written by Robert Kiyosaki. This book builds on Rich Dad, Poor Dad and dives into the essence of wealth building. This is critical for financial security. One thing that stands out in this book is the mental framework required to get out of the rat race. Most people think being an employee is safe and secure. As you know, this is no longer the case and is actually more risky than starting your own business. The key differentiator in being financially free or stuck in the monthly rat race is what you do with your free time. I cannot stress this enough. According to a survey conducted in December of 2010, the average American spends 13 hours per week watching TV and 13 hours per week on the internet. This is for pleasure. I cannot stand the bullcrap excuse of being too busy to live up to your commitments or take care of your family when 26 hours per week on average is wasted on mindless TV and surfing the web. Why is this important to me? Plain and simple. Money is the number one cause of divorce, and divorce rates are over 50%. People talk about a job as being secure, but they stress about money. Financial freedom eliminates this headache. It takes work, but if people would simply invest a couple hours per week, then they can do the things required to obtain financial freedom. Another stumbling block to overcome is negative self-talk. This is the biggest barrier to not doing the activity required to get stuff done. I know people that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month with very little effort and a whole lot of smarts. Worse than that, the stuff they were selling benefited the people they sold it to. This is win-win. Most people will not be able to cross this barrier until they get the negative self-talk under control. Does this sound familiar? I can't afford it. I will lose money. I'm not good enough. I just don't have time. This is all self-limiting self-talk. Take heed, people, because if you can learn to get this under control and start asking how questions in front of them, then your whole world will change. How can I afford it? How can I get good enough? How do I make the time? Make sense? This is what is meant by you manifest what you focus on. If you focus on can't, you get can't. This book is packed with great stuff, but for the sake of time, I'll profile the quadrant and use examples to show each. This picture, used correctly, can make you rich. Number one, the E quadrant. This quadrant is when you're an employee and work for an organization. You get paid wage level income and typically trade dollars for hours. The structure looks like this. You work, you pay your taxes, then you get your money, and then you buy stuff. In my Rich Dad summary, I talked about that you have to make $29,000 to buy a $20,000 car because of this tax structure. Most people live in this quadrant because it provides security. If you've ever heard of Dr. Maslow and human hierarchy of needs, and you are familiar with security being one of them. The problem is that this is perceived security. Who's in control? You get paid by somebody else, you're told to work by somebody else, and you hope the retirement package will be there when you retire. The control lies with somebody else. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a full-time job. There are people that don't want the responsibility of having their own business. Trust me, I understand it because I've done both. We'll chat about getting educated so your money makes you money if you don't want to leave your job. Just remember that job stands for just over broke. You need to have multiple streams of income generation to be financially free, and this quadrant will not provide it. Number two, the S quadrant. This quadrant is when you're self-employed. This can be better than the E quadrant, but in most cases, people end up buying themselves a job. Take a professional doctor. They get paid when they're working. When they're not working, they don't get paid. This is trading hours for dollars, albeit at a higher level. This does not create financial freedom because, as you have heard me say before, expenses always rise to meet income. In my opinion, the S quadrant is a great lesson quadrant for you to learn and to understand the pitfalls and to try to create systems to move to the B quadrant. Note, the S quadrant does provide the first level of tax advantage. You can now earn your money, buy stuff, then pay your taxes. This is a step in the right direction. I have a great friend who is an excellent dentist. He makes a great living and sees probably 40 patients per day every day. When he does not work, he doesn't get paid. He's so busy being the production that scaling out of the B quadrant has proven tough on him. When I tell him that there are dentists that make millions of dollars per year, he's perplexed. They do this by leveraging systems and knowledge to scale to the B quadrant. Enough said, let's talk about B. Number 3, the B quadrant. This quadrant represents the true business owner quadrant. The difference here is that the owner can leave the business for a year and come back and is running better than ever. This is not an easy grail to get. I've been working on automated systems and leveraging techniques to get this done. I've made progress, but it requires financial education and diligence along with the right team. The B quadrant creates wealth and riches without trading dollars for time. In this quadrant, company infrastructure equals money. I can tell you that running companies can be stressful, especially if they are people intensive. In the summary section, I'll talk about a hybrid approach that may work for you to bridge into this quadrant and perhaps even leverage to the I quadrant. Number 4, the I quadrant. The investor quadrant is the holy grail. This is basically your money making money without much of your time. This requires a great team, diligence, and financial education. Remember the old saying, a fool and his money are soon departed. It can definitely happen here, so you need to take it slow and know what you're doing. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but financial education is the key to success. A good example is Tim Ferriss. If you're not familiar with his work, he wrote The 4-Hour Work Week and The 4-Hour Body. He worked his business in the B quadrant and sold it to a larger company, made a bunch of money, and now he does angel investing in startups that he deems viable to make him money. This does not require a ton of his time and allows his money to make far more money than his effort alone ever could. If you are currently in the E quadrant, then I suggest you find out what you're passionate about and see if you can leverage your knowledge online. Creating information products online with YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn has to be one of the least risky ways that you can make real money. This will allow you to bridge the gap from the E to the B quadrant or from the S to the B quadrant. Remember that we want to leverage OPE, OPT, and OPM, other people's expertise, time, and money whenever possible. Regardless of what you use, financial education is the key. Hope you found this short video summary useful. The key to any new ideas is working your daily routine until it becomes habit. Habits form in as little as 21 days. One thing you can take away from this book is to catalog what you do with your free time for 1 week. Eliminate TV, crap radio, and the news. Fill that time with education, audio, video, and books. You'll be shocked how much this will help. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't hesitate to pass it along and click on the link below to purchase Robert's book, Cash Flow Quadrant. Thanks for watching and have a great day.